afternoon, you guys. Welcome back. I want to take you on a journey of me taking my voucher and switching it over to another property. I want to take you on this journey because I know a lot of you guys are going through trying to find somewhere with your Section 8 voucher. And I'm only speaking on Atlanta, Georgia, because that's where I am located, in Atlanta, Georgia. It's not an easy process at all, but you have to stay persistent. Now, the first thing that you have to do is you have to apply. Now, I already had my voucher and I was looking on different websites, even the Section 8 housing websites, and I couldn't find anything, you guys. So I was going through different articles. I went to the library just to find different landlords that are putting their properties up for the Section 8 program. At one point, I was at my last straw, you guys, because it's so hard to find a place. I even went to some places that I know I have no business staying, but that's just how tight it is. They only give you a certain amount of time to find a place. If you don't find a place within those 90 to 120 days, you can get an extension. But I didn't want to get an extension. So I looked. I had my friends looking. I had my children looking. And then one day, my daughter, she called me and she found something online. So I went online and I applied. Now listen, I applied online not knowing all the steps that they take. I didn't know that everyone that has rented before has a housing credit score until I rented from this management property that I'm renting from now. My housing score was 465 at the time, which is great. So when you're on the Section 8 program, they usually don't look at all that. They be like, you're on the Section 8 program, so we know the rent gonna get paid. Whoop de whoop de whoop. But that's not always the case. So I passed the housing part, and then I turned around and I passed the credit part, in which the only thing they check is to see if you have been paying your bills on time, like your light bill, your water bill, your gas bill, just basically seeing if you have any bills that you owe. So if you do have bills that you owe, you need to go ahead and get that out the way, because they're not going to let you move in, because they know that you have to get those services on. And if you are due, past due, haven't paid in months and in years, they're not going to accept you. But anyway, going along with the process, you guys, I passed everything that the management required. So the next step was for me to visit the location. Now, you have to keep in mind that I'm coming from a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-level house with a 2-car garage, fenced-in backyard. That's where I'm coming from, to a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom with a living room and a dining room and a kitchen with a washing machine and a dryer. It was unfortunate for me, the day that I supposed to have met with the what would they call them, the consultant, the realty consultant from the management office, I couldn't make it. I was at work, had to get through that Buckhead traffic. At that time, I was cleaning Airbnbs. So I called my daughter up, and she dashed down Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, and she met with the realtor, the man from the management office, whatever you want to call him. My daughter did a walkthrough, as I was on the phone, and she recorded everything. And of course, I went ahead and accepted it because it was a nice 2-bedroom just for me, bathroom. You know, it was decent. The house looked like it had been upgraded a little bit. So it had a backyard, front yard, bus stop right there in the front. So yes, I did want it. I got tired of looking, but I had to stay persistent whether I was working or not. You have to stay persistent. So once that happens, the management office gathers the paperwork that you have. They gathered the paperwork that I had, and they forwarded, after they filled out all the information, they forwarded to the Atlanta Housing Authority Section 8 program. So once they got the paperwork, you know, they have to have an inspection on the place to make sure that everything is up to par. Everything like the electricity box is working correctly, the heating and air is working correctly, all the windows are moving up and down. You know, you have a fire extinguisher, there's nothing leaking under the sink. You know, all of those things are being inspected by the inspector. So boom, I passed the inspection. Once I pass the inspection, they have to negotiate the rent. So the rent is negotiated by how much you earn. They can only take 30% of your income. You feel what I'm saying? But just know, everyone that's an able body has to work or go to school, or if you can't work, you have to be on disability, SSI, or an elderly person 65 years and older are not required to work. So once they do that, negotiate the rent, you used to could go in and sign your paperwork. But with this technology of today, you guys, you can do it online. Me, myself, I would prefer to go in. You feel me? But, you know, sometimes things happen. You don't have a ride. You might not have funds to get there. You know, things just interrupt what you're trying to do. So it has been a convenience signing your paperwork online through your email account. So everyone should have an email account that is applying for the Section 8 program, whether you're moving from one unit to another or whether you're transferring out of town to another town. Once all that is done, you guys, in which it's different situations for each case, just know that. Sometimes there's a roadblock, and you have to get on the phone and you have to make sure everything is going like it's supposed to be going, because you got to keep in mind it's a lot of caseworkers, you guys, but it's way more clients, Section 8 recipients, than there is caseworkers. So they get backed up, and they're human and things happen. But you and me as a tenant, we have to stay up on it. You feel what I'm saying? So it was a few bumps in the road, but I got through it. And on the 1st of the month, March the 1st, I moved into my new place. And just know, everything is not going to be perfect, but things will run smoothly and run better if you have everything in order, especially your documents. Have all your documents in order. If you have children, make sure you have their birth certificates and their social security cards. Some people don't have ID, or they don't show ID, so make sure you have your passports. That's considered as identification too. But It's different for different places. Let me just let you know that. So once you go through all that, it's time to get your keys. So you go through a lot of paperwork online. Just know that. You do a lot of emailing. You do a lot of signatures and things of that nature. But as soon as you get it done, everything is ready to go. It depends on your management office if you're going to move in that same day, the next day, or you have made plans for another date. But me, myself, love, I moved in the same day. Baby, when I met the person from the management office at the back door, baby, I came in a U-Haul ready to move my stuff in, because it's such a blessing to have a roof over your head. And I want to let y'all know, in the meantime, and in between time, when you're going through the process of moving from one unit to another or from one location to another, I just want you to keep in mind, it's going to take at least 3 weeks to a month. So go ahead, if you're already living in a unit, because you know Section 8 is not going to pay for 2 units in 1 month. So prepare yourself to pay your last month rent on your own, because Section 8 is about to pay your first month rent somewhere else. Prepare to move in with someone or to go ahead and get you an Airbnb for at least a month, because that's how long the process takes down here in Atlanta, Georgia. I just want you to know so you can be aware and be ready. And be ready for any situation that occurs while you're moving, as far as paperwork, finding somewhere to stay, getting online, having your friends and family to search for you as well, keeping a job. You know what I'm saying? You got to have monies to move. You got to have deposit money. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to monies to move. A lot of people, it's so easy to move. It's not. You have to have your deposit that you're going to pay the rental office or the private landlord. You have to have your first month rent. Some of us that are on the Section 8 program, we have to pay 30%. So we have to pay rent, especially the ones that work every day. Whether you work full-time or part-time, you're expected to pay some kind of amount of rent. So prepare yourself to save your monies. You have to get your U-Haul truck. If you need people to help you move, you have to pay them. You have to have your utilities on before you even move in. That's one of the requirements and one of the rules. So me, myself, all the utilities were on when I moved in. I just had to get them transferred over in my name. And also, the moving process is difficult for some of us. I have moved in a car before, love. So don't get discouraged. Just know, me and my children have moved in a car. A whole house in a car. When you want something bad enough, you'll jump through any hoop to make it happen. So this is the process of moving from one space, one unit to another when you're down here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I just wanted the ones that are just getting their vouchers and everything. I know that you're excited about it, but it's hard. It's hard to find somewhere. And then they do have these landlords out here that are scamming people out of their monies. I almost got caught up one time, but my Wells Fargo bank alerted me that it was a scam. So you want to really find somebody, look them up, make sure it's a business, make sure They own, if it's a private landlord, you got to make sure that they are the ones who own the house. They got the deeds. You feel what I'm saying? If it feels suspicious to you, then that's what it is. It's suspicious. Go to the next one. I know that you guys are excited and you are eager to find somewhere to stay, but I don't want you to get scammed. So I want you to go by the real steps of finding a place. Be aware. Always go by your gut feeling when it comes to issuing out your monies. And happy Section 8 housing looking, baby, from Regina So Section 8 Hood. Happy holiday. And I pray that everybody has a place to stay. And with that being said, I'll be back. You know I'm coming back. Peace.